Hey guys, it's time for the question of the week. Today's question comes from someone who posted it in my Be With Your Twin Flame Facebook group. And this is a very good question. The question is, how is the push-pull energy different before soul recognition compared to after soul recognition? And so just to clarify, soul recognition is the exact moment when your soul recognizes itself within the physical body of your twin flame. Before soul recognition, majority, everyone probably on earth right now has crossed paths with their twin flame this lifetime. There are people with their twin flames, married for years, good friends, grew up next door, whatever to each other, and they have no idea they're twin flames. Like, they don't even know what a twin flame is. And that's fine. And they're able to do that. They're able to maintain just like a regular, type of romantic relationship or physical relating experience with their twin flame, because they have yet to have soul recognition. So soul recognition is the moment when your soul recognizes itself within that physical body of your twin flame. When that happens, now remember, this is your soul recognition. And soul recognition is not conscious mind recognition. It's not like you all of a sudden had to be like, whoa, this person is my twin flame or something in your head, right? Like, you don't think that. It has something to do with the mind. This transcends that. Your soul recognizes it on a soul level. And so what happens is, at that moment is when your push-pull fear-based shared with your twin flame energy becomes activated. And by activated is when I mean that those polarities, that push and the pull, kick in. And so at first, when they kick in, they start to build up. And it's that build up that feels like, wow, like just like amazing, right? Like that whole, intense, awesome honeymoon period with the twin flame, right? You're just floating on air. It's amazing. It's amazing. But then at a certain point, and like, you guys are like magnets at that point, right? Magnets that are attracting each other. Then you reach a certain point and those polarities build up so much that it's like they repel, right? It's the push-pull. And so it's almost like you take two magnets that are attracting each other and you turn them around, try to put them together. They'll push and pull, right? And if you push, the other one pulls. So that's what happens. So soul recognition is the moment that the push-pull between you and your twin flame and your shared energetic field becomes activated. Before then, it's just like a normal physical relating experience with your twin flame as you would have with anyone else. Now, that doesn't mean in your journey or particular journey, you knew your twin flame before soul recognition. Soul recognition can happen at any time, right? Like, you could have met your twin flame, say, years ago. Say you grew up next to each other, door to each other, right? But you didn't have soul recognition. So you were playmates, you were friends, you were high school sweethearts, whatever. And then all of a sudden, years later, you see each other or, connect on Facebook or social media or something, and then next thing you know, you feel like these intense energies, and it's like, wow, right? Or the first time you ever met each other, you could have had soul recognition. I don't know. Everyone's journey is unique and individual. But the point is just understanding what soul recognition is for the purposes of this question is that soul recognition is the exact moment when your soul recognizes itself within the physical body of your twin flame. And at that point, why that's significant is that starts the buildup of the polarities, of the push-pull. Until then, the push-pull is not like that. How is push-pull before soul recognition? So every single person on the planet who is incarnated in physical form in the 3D physical fear-based push-pull world of polarity and duality is operating and interacting with everyone else in push-pull energy. Now, there's only one twin flame, right, for each person. So the twin flame is on the exact wavelength as you. You're exactly push-pull. But with everyone else, you're not exactly push-pull, but still, your push-pull energy is interacting with everyone else's push-pull energy. That's how everyone interacts with everyone else in that way. That's how human beings relate with each other. It's like if you look at energy, it's like one big matrix of just like push-pull energy connecting, everyone. Not the same exact frequency. That's only shared with the twin flames. But, with everyone else, they still have push-pull going on, and you have push-pull going on. So everyone's relating with everyone else in push-pull fear-based energy. And so how that is that, so, you know, with your twin flame, you are always the push. You can never be the pull, for example, right? If you're watching this, most likely you're the push. As you know, your twin flame's the pull. You can never be the push with your twin flame. The pull, because your twin flame can never be the push with you. Right? The twin flame is your pull. You are your twin flame's push. But I mean, you don't switch. It doesn't switch back and forth. Right now, right here, you are always the push with your twin flame. Your twin flame is always your pull. Okay? That does not change. However, with everybody else, because they're not on the other end of that, you could be interacting with them in push or pull. I mean, depending on who they are, the situation, your mood, whatever. You can switch back and forth, and they can also be switching back and forth, right? So, they could be pushing, and you could be pushing, and someone else you're interacting with, you could all three be pushing, right? Or you could be pulling, they could be pulling, everyone could be pulling, or you could be pushing, they could be pulling, or whatever. And then the next time you see them, they could be pushing and you could be pulling, right? That's like basically just dependent on, it's very fluid, very dependent on the situation, the people involved, like I said, your mood, whatever. That can switch back and forth. However, we are all predominantly either push or pull with other people. However, we can switch. It's not all the time, and it's not all the time with the same people either. Where it does tend to be kind of like a pattern, where you are kind of usually the same with the same people, is in family dynamics. Family dynamics are the next closest resonance to your true soul vibration, other than the twin flame, right? So the twin flame is your true soul vibration. No one and nothing else in the entire cosmos is that. However, like next closest to your true soul vibration tends to be close family members. And that's why we kind of get into behavioral relating patterns with them, where, especially with like parents and siblings, and then with our children, we tend to primarily always be predominantly, either push or pull with them. And that's just because we tend to like go back to what's comfortable and, what feels comfortable. And this is, a subconscious comfortable. Just the relating patterns where, predominantly your energy, if you're usually like a pull with, say, your parents since you were like younger, and that's the way you were because they were just pushing on you, and how you responded or reacted was you pulled. Then, your whole rest of your life, until you become aware of this, you're predominantly going to pull with them, right? And they're going to be pushing. And that's just because that's the pattern that people tend to fall into. Totally subconsciously, no one knows this is going on, or they're doing this. But that's just how it works. It's almost like, so your fear-based push-pull energy with other people, it's almost like it's playing with it, right? It's almost like a dance that it's used to doing. That's how I like to describe it, as like a dance. And so, you see someone that you're familiar with, like a family member, a close friend, someone you know pretty well, and you're used to having your energy mingle with theirs in the same push-pull relating dynamic. And then say you become aware of it, and then you stop that, and you stop pushing or pulling about it around that person. Well, that person subconsciously is going to feel different around you. And, because their energy is used to playing with yours in a certain way. And if you kind of like, shake that up a bit, then they're going to be, they could be a little thrown off, or feel a little off, or a little uncomfortable, or think you're a little off, right? So there's definite patterns with other people, but like I said, you can switch it. You're not always, one or the other. You're predominantly one or the other generally. And an interesting note here is that if you are watching this, you're most likely the push with your twin flame, right? Most likely. I'm not saying everyone is, but most likely you are, because the push tends to be the one coming to look for answers and has the focus on the twin flame and everything. And that's just the nature of the push energy, and that's perfect. But if you're predominantly a pull energy, usually in other areas and relationships in your life, if you're predominantly pull, and remember, this doesn't be all the time, you can change to push, but if you're predominantly pull, especially in other romantic relationships you've had, and yet with the twin flame, you're the push, and there's nothing you can do about that because, you're just always the push with the twin flame, that doesn't change, then, that's when those kind of people tend to have a much more challenging time on this twin flame journey. Their core wound pain tends to be much deeper, much more painful. And they just tend to be in like thinking that they're just something's really, really off, feeling that something they're like just went crazy or something, right? Because they're not used to being that type of energy in a romantic type relationship uh, with anyone ever before. That's just so contrary to how their usual predominant energy is. And so that tends to really throw people off. So if you have a particularly difficult and challenging time, particularly painful core wound activation, you know, just I mean, on the floor like I was, because I'm predominantly a pull energy with everyone. And, you know, obviously I'm the push with my twin flame. So, you know, that's why for me, it was like, I couldn't even get off the floor for 6 months. It was awful. And, you know, other people, I mean, that's me. Everyone's journey is unique and individual. And I mean, you know, other people who are usually the push with others, and then they're the push of the twin flame, tend to not have as difficult a time usually. I mean, they still can. It's still painful. It's not fun. I get that. I'm not discounting anyone's pain or journey or anything here. I'm just saying, if you think that you are predominantly pull with most other people, especially in a romantic type of a relationship, and then all of a sudden you're in this twin flame journey and you're a push, I mean, it's just subconsciously you're just not used to that kind of change of energy with people, right? And you know, you don't know what's going on. It's like your whole world's been flipped upside down. So I feel you. I feel you if that's you. I feel you all, but you know, that one, it's a trend. It really is a thing. It's a pattern, and it's very common. So yeah, so that's just an interesting point about that. But yeah, so that's what it's like. And then with your twin flame, before soul recognition, I mean, like I said, you can interact with them like anyone else. It's just it's soul recognition. Once your polarities build up, then I mean, you're predominantly the push, they're predominantly the pull, and I mean, you're always the push, they're always the pull. I'm sorry, with twin flame, always. And you know, that's when the buildup occurs, and it feels so great, and you connect, and all of that awesome, amazing time, and then all of a sudden, push pull. Right? And that's when the polarities kick in, and the fear-based push-pull energy comes into play. And that's why we're here. Then it leads us here. So anyway, I hope that answers the question. And I hope that clarifies or teaches the rest of you who didn't even know about this something new. Thanks so much for the question. Please keep them coming. I will get to them, I promise, in another video. And have a great weekend, guys, and lots of love.